This is a review of a novella, The Black Fortress by Jim Melvin. There used to be a sword and sorcery genre that was very strong on action, strong on the hero dashing from place to place, fighting bad guys. Not much character development beyond brawny hero fighting bad guys, and not much that sort of thing. And the world building was very heavily leaning towards exotic names and rich, lavish settings that were over the top, dramatic, and even melodramatic, just oozing with exotic names and exotic appeal and sexy maidens and just hordes of different kinds of creatures, usually all fighting each other. Nowadays, you don't see very much sword and sorcery published by mainstream publishers anymore. If you want to read these kind of books, though, you can still find them in indie books. So I found this book, The Black Fortress, and I guess it's part of a larger series, or this novella is set in a universe that features in a longer series, and I haven't read the longer series. So this novella is this throwback to the sword and sorcery books of the day, and if you love that kind of thing, it's awesome to find this still being published, because this is why I love indie literature, because you can find these things that you would never find on the shelf anymore. Now it all has to be, political intrigue in the same genre of Game of Thrones, and there has to be deep character development and blah blah blah. And no, don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. But sometimes a great sword and sorcery book is just fun. It's just fun. What can I say? It's just fun. You got a brawny hero, and he goes and he whoops some ass. And it's usually weird, goblin-y, spidery monster creature things. So you don't even feel bad about it. So that's what this is. There's a hero, and I don't remember his name. And there's basically zero character development. And he doesn't really have a relationship with anybody except with a magical horse. And he summons this magical horse. I love this part. The world building is actually awesome. The reason he is able to get this magical horse, which basically acts like a deus ex machina. I can't pronounce that word. You know what I mean? Hordes of all these different creatures, and there's so many different creatures, and they're attacking this city and that city, and everything has a name. Even the walls of the city have different names and these ancient histories that they go through and they cram into one paragraph. Jim Melvin crams into one paragraph the history of these different walls and this different city and this different person and this different king. It's great. And they all have the most exotic traditional fantasy names with apostrophes and X's and Z's and 5 syllables. I love it. And so they're being attacked by this horde, and there's some good strategy at the beginning where, the horde is attacking the city, but he's doing it in this really stupid way, and they're like, why is he being such a dumbass? Why is he so stupid? Even a goblin who's really dumb. I don't remember if he's a goblin or not, but he's sort of some goblin-y. Even a goblin is not that dumb. Oh crap, their real target is our main city down there on the plains. Oh no. So then the hero has to go save the main people, and basically he just sort of goes and does it single-handedly. The hero basically just wins this entire war single-handedly. And it's like I said, it's a novella, so the pace is so ridiculously fast. So if you want believable geopolitics a la Game of Thrones, that's not here. This is not a retelling of the War of the Roses with a little bit of magic added in. This is your old-fashioned sword and sorcery, and there's a magic horse, and there's the most awesome description of druids that I've ever heard, that I just loved it. I'm not gonna spoil it. It was so cool. I gotta say, I loved those druids. Creatures were cool. The world building, I liked the world building. Very sword and sorcery type world building. But you know what? It was not just the medieval European setting. For all that we are always hearing about, oh, we wish there were more diversity in fantasy and stuff like that, I wonder if half the people who complain about that actually even read any. What was fascinating to me about the world building here is that I could see a lot of the Eastern mythology worked into this. And I'm very aware of it because I'm using Tibetan mythology for another fantasy series of mine that's on the back burner right now. So I'm working on the unfinished song. Don't worry, I'm still working on that one. But I have many projects always going at once. And there's one that relies a lot on Tibet fantasy in particular. And so I recognize some of these elements of the Eastern mythos and the way he earns this magical horse that helps him in his single-handedly winning the war against the bad guys. Multiple hordes of bad guys, let me add. He's basically done meditation, like in the style of an Indian enlightened man or something, or a Buddha. He's a death knower. It's not really clear what that is in the context of this novella. I wonder if it's explained further in the series. I would like to know that. It sort of implies he has died and come back to life. Anyway, it sounded very cool. It's not explained very much in this novella at all. I would like to see a little more relationships between people and a little bit less of just like one guy single-handedly doing everything. If I were to read a series based on this author, I would hope for a little bit more, a little bit more relationships. A romance would be nice. I don't expect like a full-on like romance, genre romance where it's all about the romance, but I wouldn't mind if you threw in a big busted babe in a bronze bikini. I have no problem with the big busted babes in the bronze bikinis. I'm fine with those characters in their setting. So I would have liked to have seen that actually, but I do like a little bit of a crumb of romance and certainly at least some more relationships. There's a few moments here where he had a bit of an interpersonal conflict, one other character, but mostly just him galloping around on his magic horse, feeding hordes of bad guys. But it was a lot of fun and it was cool, and it was a very short book. So if you like Sword and Sorcery and you can't get enough of it, here's another one. And I'm probably going to check out this series and see what it's like. See if it's got I need just a little more depth to keep me going at a longer length for Sword and Sorcery. I think there's a reason those stories are often very short, because I do need a little more investment in the character to care about the character as a person and feel like I actually get to know this character just a little bit. But if the series has that, then I'm probably going to read the series too. So we'll see. All right, well, that's all I got to say about that one. Tara out.